So, judges, Carly, Stanley, Justin, how did it go? Was it an easy decision or was it tough? You don't have to tell us the winner yet, but we just kind of know how it went.
I think it's quite difficult. Topic is really big, right? So it's really difficult problem for them to solve. So yeah, I think that's quite difficult judging like assessment process and deliberation process. Carly and Stan, what do you guys think?
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy task to judge. We're very impressed with how you've attempted to tackle some really hard questions. In general, definitely great effort from everyone. We're very impressed for your age to be able to be thinking about these problems.
For sure, yes.
And it's a plus one to all of that as well. That this is some genuinely, strongly, and deeply ambiguous problems that society is wrestling with. That honestly, I'll say no one has really found good solutions to these things. And I think the deliberation that all of you had, working through these problems, applying the different skill sets, thinking through it deeply, talking to different people, has put you ahead of, I think, a lot of people in the world and how we think about some of these things and how we're going to find solutions on the other side. So I think, wherever the scores end up and wherever all these things end up, I think I would safely say that all of you can be so proud of walking away with like a much deeper understanding of these issues, how challenging, like a first-person appreciation for how challenging it is. And hopefully you will come up with a solution to some of these really deep pains that I think we're all experiencing in society.
And there's so many dimensions to this problem and the solutions as well. So we're really impressed that most of these seem to have come from your own personal experiences, whether your parents, your grandparents, or friends. So that's great. I hope we can continue to have those eyes to observe around us.
And
that's understand these people around us.
So judges, what was one thing that kind of might have caught you by surprise today through these students' presentations? Was there anything that kind of say, hey, I didn't expect this?
I can go first. I think for me is that some of these projects are very close to go-to-market. I know there's not something that we assess on, like there's not like business aspect of it, but if they were to kind of put in a little bit more time, they could actually launch this and be something really useful. And I think that's one of the main thing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, for sure, Justin. How about the others? Anything that might have caught you by surprise that you didn't expect to see or hear today?
I would just agree with what Justin was mentioning as well. Some projects would be like, it's either like, oh, this is good to go, you just need to address this or that, a little bit more thought here, a little bit more investment there, a little bit of gotchas you got to think about, which is incredible. I think for what honestly is a really short amount of time. And I assume for a lot of people in the room, it's your first time, working with UI, working with, Java, working with, whatever platforms you're working with. This is really cool.
Yeah. No, I personally was very pleasantly surprised by what you guys said, right? How the students were able to tackle something so ambiguous. All the problems that they were dealing with today are difficult even for adults to tackle, right? So for someone in high school to take the design principles, design thinking principles that we've given them and to address some of these things is huge. And I was talking to Justin, some of the other mentors. We think maybe this year we kind of went a little bit overboard on the too difficult side. so we might readjust for the following year. But students, kudos to you. You rose up to the occasion and listening to your pitch presentations and the way you answered the questions today, really you really put a lot of thought into it. And like what Carly said, these are personal experiences that you're drawing from, and what Stanley said, there are these problems that we're talking about. No one has a good solution yet today, right? So for you guys to even look at that and try to tackle it is tremendous. So
I'll say this though, when you say no one has a good solution, and I think it's recently Jeff Bezos tweeted this, that I'm not promoting my own company, but he tweeted that AWS used to be a ridiculous idea that people think it never works too, and and today it's pretty successful. It's working very well, providing a lot of value. And you just never know, right? A lot of things that may seem very trivial today, but actually will turn out to be very valuable and useful if they just put a little bit more time on it and get it going.
Yeah, awesome. So each of the judges, any last words of advice as the evaluations have all been locked in, but any last words of advice to the students as they look to the to the awarding and also beyond after Game of Apps? We'll start with Carly.
Oh, okay. Actually, my advice would be what I started off to say, learn from yesterday, to live for today, and to hope for tomorrow, and to not stop asking questions.
Okay, awesome. Good words of advice. Okay, thank you. How about Stanley? Any words of advice for the students?
I think in the same vein, just keep at it. These are tough, meaningful problems to solve. I think you've picked up everything we've seen today demonstrates that you picked up the skills to be the people, hopefully, in the future who can contribute some real solutions to some real problems we have in the world. And I'm really excited to see what all of you are going to do in the future. But it's going to be a tough road for you, for us, for all of us. Keep at it.
Awesome. Thank you. And last word from Justin.
Yeah, I mean, Roland say that you guys rise up to the occasion, but I like to think that people don't really rise up to occasion. I mentioned this before. You rise up to the level of your training, right? So if you take what Carly says and Stanley says, keep being curious, keep building up on that foundation and knowledge, I think you will find yourself rising up to a lot more occasions than in the future as you meet more and more difficult challenges down the road.
Awesome. So Carly and Stanley, we have a little something for you. You see all of us are wearing matching t-shirts. You get a similar one, but in white. Okay. So if you think of Justin as the black hat, you guys are the white hat.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We hope to have you back again with us. So I really appreciate the time that you took today. And we look forward to seeing the results in a little bit. Thank you, judges.